Here's how you learn badminton skills up to 10 times faster. We all know that feeling of doing drills, but the moment we go into a game, we forget everything. So I've created this system to basically trick your brain into learning faster, based on the latest scientific evidence. The first step is to excite. You see, what happens when you learn is that new connections between your neurons are being made or strengthened. But in order for your brain to be in this state, you first need an elevated amount of neurotransmitters. The most important ones are dopamine, adrenaline, and acetylcholine. And you can achieve this by caring so much about getting better that you get excited or angry. For me, I'll tell myself something like, if I can perfect my split step, I'll be one step closer to looking like Dan when I play. And this actually brings me to the next step, which is isolation. You want to get really specific on what skill you want to get better at. This could be something like split stepping every time your opponent touches the bird, or rotating your hips every time you smash. You want to practice this one movement so much until you can basically do it automatically without thinking. This could mean doing it 100, 200 times. This is also where you want to record yourself or have a coach to make sure you're doing the proper movements. What's happening here is that each repetition that you do, your brain creates stronger connections between the neurons that are used for that movement. And when these connections become strong enough, that's when you can do the movement without even thinking about it, aka muscle memory. The next step is integration. This means you start changing the drill so that it gets closer and closer to an actual game. For example, this could mean that after you learn how to smash standing still, you might add some movement, add some random shots, and then eventually start the drill from a serve, just like in a real game. The reason you want to do this is because even though you've created these strong neuron connections through the isolation, there's a completely different set of neurons that fire when you play a game. But by doing drills that slowly increase in similarity to a game, you build connections between these two sets of neurons. And once this happens, you have successfully learned a skill that can be used in a game. The problem is that a lot of coaches make drills that are very different from what an actual game is like. This means no connection between the drill neurons and the game neurons. And this is why you might feel like you didn't get better even after doing a lot of drills. There's a common saying in neuroscience, neurons that fire together wire together. And I think that's very fitting for the situation. This brings us to the very last step, rest. In order to really solidify these new connections, close your eyes after you train and spend 10 minutes to replay what you just practiced. And do this one more time right before you go to sleep. Bonus points if you end up dreaming about it. I promise that if you train like this, you'll get better way faster than anyone around you.